Yeah, love that. Drew Franklin here. Love being on YouTube, especially at 4 o'clock on a Thursday. Got Tyler Thompson, Nick Roush, and it's another KSR Happy Hour presented by ta-da! Country Boy Brewing. I had one last witness to citrus in the back of the fridge. Feel like we'll knock that out on today's episode. I did 2 last week. That won't be an option this week with only the 1, but I'm looking forward to taking part of it. And I have a glass that I think Nick Roush will like. I don't know if you can see it, but
nice.
Why wouldn't I like that too? I love Jared.
Sorry, yeah. I mean, everyone will like it. I don't know why I singled out Nick Roush. I guess I had the football podcast on the brain as I start to pour this. But good to see everyone. Whose birds were chirping? That was kind of cool as we were coming in there.
Yeah, my birds very, very active at the Roush house today. As I was discussing with Tyler before we started, had one make a nest on my front porch today. So the birds, they are aplenty. Spring has officially sprung.
I've got a great hack for that. I'm probably the only person that did this or does this. But when I first moved into my house, that was, what year is it right now? I don't know, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, birds kept building a little nest in this little corner of my porch. Mm-hmm. And I just needed to cover that little area. And I just went inside and I'm like, I just need something cheap that I can put up there. So I'll figure this out later. I grabbed a can of green beans, unopened. I just set it up on that little leg because you can't really see it. It's not visible from my yard or anything. And it is still there 5 years later, and I've not had a bird nest since. The label is gone. It's beat the crap, but 0 bird's nest for $1 can of green beans. So just a little pro tip there.
I'm going to try that. So I was telling Nick, there's also a bird's nest right above our porch stairs. And the soffit on the overhang of the roof had gotten loose. So they worked together to take that part of the soffit down and build their nest inside of it. And we've got a fake owl that's out there, and it's like a big one. Like we had one fake owl. It didn't do the trick. We got the big one off Amazon with the rotating head and the light up eyes, and it makes screeching sounds. Yeah,
you got the Harry Potter prop.
We call it Allie. We should name it Hedwig, but it's not doing the trick either. The birds don't care about it. I mean, it's really frustrating because like our steps are just bird poop right now. It's pretty gross.
I want Drew to open up the can of green beans and give it a taste, kind of like the cans of Coke that are on top of the podiums at the press conferences that have been up there for 5 years.
I drank a beer that had been on the tin roof wall for 15 years. That was not good, but we'll try these green beans. I could be like Jacob and just take the happy hour around my house, like with the mouse that time. That was a fun show. Looks like we have a fun show today. We have some news topics. That's fun. I see Captain Crash 21, one of our regulars, says that they have some news they're excited to share with me. I don't know what that is. That gets me excited. Jack Ryan, there we go. Rayan asks how the baby is. We might have a baby sighting. I almost start because I was holding her just a minute ago and I handed her off. Just a combo of the beer, and she's a little young to be, pimping her out there on social media and YouTube, but maybe she'll make an appearance. But thank you for asking, Jack. And good to see everybody. I don't know, Roush, the last time you did a happy hour, but I haven't done one. Oh, there's a child.
There we go.
We've got a baby crush in the happy hour too.
Here.
She's getting a little attitude lately. Like she was a nice, cute baby, and now she's just like, I don't want to wear these clothes. Don't know, throwing temper tantrums. So we're figuring things out. And she's very confused why she can see herself on the screen right now. So,
sounds like she's basically you after the Derby was over. Just kind of cranky, just won't stop crying. Really upset.
Pretty much. Yeah, that was me. Very tired, needed a nap. And I think this one does. So get into Momcilovic. I'm going to go.
Go handle that.
I'm this baby's mom.
Yeah. Here I was talking about having a baby sighting, and he had one right there at his feet. Brought her on. Good to see her. Tyler, we'll get it rolling with the topics of today, including our guy Jacob Polacek broke the news that Mark Pope has Zoomed with Momcilovic from Iowa State. He knocked us out of the tournament, and we're like, you know what? We'll forgive you if you want to come play at Kentucky. Lights out three-point shooter, as everyone knows. We saw him up close in Kentucky's last game of the season. He's currently going through the draft process and probably wants to stay there, but I don't know if he's going to get picked where he wants to. Most of the mocks right now have him a kind of early second round, might sneak into the first. And Tyler, the University of Kentucky, as far as I know, has a big pile of money that they haven't used yet because they didn't get Stokes. I like the Pope's going after Momcilovic. What do you think?
I mean, he's kind of the guy that all of us kind of had circled whenever all of this started with the portal. It was Alan Graves and then Momcilovic, and the fact that Kentucky fans got a really good view at both of them is interesting. Momcilovic is really interesting to me. Obviously, Kentucky needs some three-point shooting. He was the nation's best three-point shooter last season at a high volume too, so really promising. I kind of went down memory lane because someone retweeted an old interview that Jack Pilgrim did with Momcilovic, and I forgot that he played for Tyler Hero's dad in UIBL. So that was kind of crazy. He played for Team Hero. So
did UKBBN1 discover that? Was he the one that shared that with us?
I'm not sure. UKBBN1.
Well, because I know he was on the Tyler Hero beat for years. Like if Hero farted, we knew about it.
Sure.
It is kind of funny because the name Momcilovic, which shout out to him for giving us a very easy. It's a foreign name, but it's very easy to pronounce, spell out. You see that name and you think, okay, this guy is very foreign. There's no, like he was getting interviewed by Jack not that long ago. We also know about him well because, he just kind of kicked our ass in the NCAA tournament. And I am going to let myself get my hopes up for a little bit because you know what? Why the heck not? There's been a lot of bad news for a while. And it's one of those things that I think we all kind of like, you kind of got to do this thing, Pope, right? Like, it's like, this would make sense from a fit, from a star power, from a budget. Like, it all makes sense. Is Pope going to try to do it? I know a lot of people thought initially that Florida was going to be his sort of pre-portal determined destination, but they brought back everybody. So that's not going to happen. And this is the first time, at least, unless it happened when I was off the radar or whatever, I think it's the first time that he's been connected to a school, whereas for the most part, it's just been all sort of NBA talk for him.
Yeah, he kind of basically said that he was going to focus on the NBA draft process. And once he has made his decision on that, then he'll entertain, if he comes back to college, then he'll entertain that. Clearly, he has yet to make his NBA draft decision, and he's already fielding calls from other teams or with his agents. So the fact that Kentucky is right there is really, really promising. And I like what you said. It's nice to have some good news. And it feels like we've had like 2 batches of good news in the last 24 hours. Like we had Mark Pope's video, which we'll talk about here in a minute. And then we got this Momcilovic news from Jacob. So it's nice not to be so doom and gloom because it's felt like that for a long time.
If you look around Kentucky, Pope hasn't been a great closer. I think that's very obvious. We've missed on some big targets. But if you're looking at what Momcilovic would consider if he pulls out of the draft, Kansas is pretty already set. That's a name that's been mentioned. They obviously got Stokes, and they added another forward today. I mean, with the Stokes money and their 3 and 4 spot already covered, that seems unlikely. I guess, Nick, you mentioned Florida. I guess UConn is still one that's being thrown around. That's obviously some tough competition. But for the most part, it seems like Kentucky, just leaving aside whatever you think of how well recruiting is going, just what they can offer him seems like it would stand out against just about anything out there.
Well, what it reminds me of is Matt Ponatoski, where like Kentucky kind of back-assed toward their way into the Matt Ponatoski recruitment when Bush Hamden and Mark Stoops were there, where essentially he blew up and all of the other schools had already taken quarterbacks. And if they hadn't taken quarterbacks, they're also a little like, I don't know about this whole baseball thing. And Kentucky was like, we will do whatever. Just please come to our school. And he was like, okay, sounds good to me. And that kind of feels like a similar situation where there aren't, if he does come back to college, which I can make the argument for why he should, there aren't a whole lot of obvious suitors who can pay him that makes it worthwhile to come back to school. And also a place where he will be the top guy and playing an offense where he can utilize his shooting ability. I saw my old buddy, the sports talker, TJ Walker, talking about how he can't maximize his draft stock any more than what it is now. He shot 50% from 3. Yeah, exactly. Like, dude, be a career college basketball guy. That's the whole point of NIL now. Play as long as you can, make as much money, because the money is going to be better than what you're ever going to get in the NBA, right? Like, at best, he's like the 28th pick, 30th, like, right? Like, that's kind of the range-ish. Maybe it changes with workouts later in the process. But, like, dude, if you can make $6 million for another year, make $6 million for another year, and then go be a second round or a late first round pick the following year. Like, that stuff's not going to change. Just maximize the amount of money you can right now. Go do it. And you know what? I'm not going to be writing that check, but whoever at UK is, I'm sure they would be thrilled to write that big check to Milan Momcilovic.
And I'm okay with them giving the Stokes budget. I didn't want them to go overpay for someone now in an emergency situation, because they do have that money just sitting aside, most of it. I didn't want them to just start throwing it around to get anybody, but I think he's good enough. You just take that offer and move it over to him. In fact, just for next season at Kentucky, I think he would be better than Stokes. Stokes brings a lot more than he would, because Stokes will be a green room guy. Pope needs a freshman. There's a lot more a lot of layers to Stokes that Momcilovic doesn't do. But just from contributing to next year's basketball team, if it's Stokes or Momcilovic, I would pick him on just that alone. So
in the other layers that don't come with Momcilovic that Tyron Stokes has, there's a lot there too. Yeah,
no baggage, perfect system fit. Yeah. I do love that.
My man was holding a lot of 20s last night, wasn't he?
I was going to say, I love that Kansas fans are getting the first taste of the Stokes drama. And to be clear, if he had come to Kentucky, we'd be spinning that in any way we can. Come and get your money, Garrett. But it was interesting to see that as an outsider last night, that picture of Stokes and all the $20 bills. And it's like 20s were an odd choice there.
I mean, we're bloggers for a living. We're not exactly driving around in luxury cars and living in mansions. So I'm not here to criticize a guy that's making more money than I'll ever make. But I did laugh a little bit when I saw his 20s. I thought, for what he's getting paid, let's put some hundreds out there for fun. That was like $1,000.
Well, the ATM, they only have 20s in the ATM. They didn't have hundreds in it, right? It was one of those guys.
Yeah. Calzada did it so much better. He was throwing hundreds and calling Garrett out by name. I mean, if you're going to do it, that's how you do it. But back to wrap it up with Momcilovic. Who knows if it'll work out? He might stay in the draft. That's still maybe the likely option. But that pot of money that has gone untouched to UK, that's one of the few names out there, maybe even the only name, where I'd say they're worth paying big time, or he's worth paying big time money. Because, I'm not someone that thinks the current state of the roster is going to go very far next year without adding anything else. I think he alone could make you top 10. And there's not many players left on the board that could do that. And just the way he plays. I mean, Pope, give him all the threes. You want to take 30 threes a game, give him 15 of them. Just let him go crazy.
The other part too, Tyler, every time I look at these portal rankings, whether it's from our people or some other people, like Rob Wright, when they were talking about this bona fide star in Rob Wright, I watched a lot of BYU games this year. I had never heard of him, okay? He was like the fifth guy that I paid attention to on that team. Flory Badunga, best center that's God's gift to basketball, best portal player ever. Like, he's good center, but, like, just good. Like, Momcilovic is a college basketball star and All-American. I thought this portal class kind of stunk overall. Like, teams, I think, have wisely focused more on spent more to retain players rather than to get free agents. So I think the pool has just been a lot thinner. It's a lot harder to get free agents, and I don't think they're as good. I mean, like Carter Knox, that guy, he's kind of he's a fun player. He'll have some good games. He's going to piss off a lot of Louisville fans next year. So, like, I know as much as, we look at all of the other things, like look how great they're doing. I think the portal class has been kind of weak. And if Kentucky can somehow pull this off, like for all the crap that Mark Pope has gotten from me, everybody out there, this would be as good as it gets. From a fit perspective, from a star power perspective, it would check every box. And then you would walk in with a team, you'd say, all right, well, we've got an All-American on the wing, a guy who we really believe in that can be in the NBA as sort of his backup or the 4 spot with Cam Williams, Malachi Moreno, and then 2 exceptional guards. You think about this so much differently if Mark Pope can get it done. Hopefully he can get it done. And maybe he was teasing that in his video when he talked about visiting Milan. Huh?
I thought about that. Yeah, that's interesting. Maybe so. Maybe put that on the treasure hunt map with your wind-horsed fingers. Yeah. But I think you made a good point, because I think if there have been a lot of criticisms of Pope this portal cycle, but it's been that he's gotten too many creators and not enough, as John Calipari would say, makers. So Momcilovic is a maker. Cam Williams, in theory, if he takes a big step forward, is a maker. And now you've got two creators in Zoom and Alex Wilkins. So that starting five, if Momcilovic decides to come to Kentucky, is actually pretty exciting. And that's just how much that this can turn around in an instant. We were panic levels 5 million on Monday, and now here we are. It's Thursday. And just the mere thought of a Zoom meeting between the two parties is everything seems a little bit better today.
We can talk about the alternative if it doesn't happen down the road.
Another day.
And here's the other part too, is like, this is a month away from happening.
Yeah.
Because the withdrawal deadline is the 27th, maybe?
Yeah, 20 days away, not even a month. Less than 3 weeks.
So that's 3 weeks away from where he has to decide if he's going to stay in the draft. And then you would think there would be at least a week or two long recruiting process after that. So we could have a sort of Jamal Murray-like situation where all of a sudden it's June and you've got a stud coming in to fill out your roster.
And Tyler mentioned the guards. I think the way Diallo distributes, he can actually dribble. We didn't have a lot of that last year. He can get in the lane and kick back out, because we're getting these 15 threes a game from Momcilovic if you get them. I mean, we're feeding him. I saw this on maybe KS Board, but someone's like, oh, Pope is just showing him Kobe Bryant highlights. Like, you're going to do this times 2. You have the ultimate green light if you get in here. But I'd still, it's still, I'd say unlikely would probably be the word maybe. I mean, I'm not going to put a percentage on it because I don't know what's going on in his head, but still a long way to go before he's wearing a Kentucky uniform. But the fact that there is contact when he was pretty focused on the NBA is a big step in the right direction. We're zooming again. We fly to Israel, but we will Zoom the NBA draft prospect in Iowa. Speaking of flying to Israel, Pope came back. He went to a lot of cities. So many. I'm not calling him a liar, but I don't even know how he could have gone to all those cities in 2 days. But he came back and put out the fan video that has been all the talk for the last.
They were all connecting flights.
That would be funny. Like if you're in the airport, it suddenly counts.
Yeah, I go to Atlanta a lot on the way to other places. I don't usually count that as the trip. But he got back and he made the video that has been all the talk among the fans the last 24 hours. I'll start with just what I thought of him initially doing it. I thought it was just an absolute dangerous game to put yourself out like there on Twitter. I mean, of all the apps to say come at me, kudos to Pope, because, I mean, there were some nasty in there, but for the most part, I think it got over 4,000 replies. Most of them were fans really taking advantage of the opportunity and asking serious questions. But just to start there, I couldn't believe Pope did it. I mean, that is reckless behavior, just saying, all right, Twitter, let me have it, because some of those weren't questions, just direct insults. And he read them, but he handled it well and put out that video. So just before we get to the answers, what did you all think of just the premise of putting himself out there like that?
I'll start. I think it was a really ballsy move. I think when we all saw the initial tweet, we were like, oh boy, get your popcorn. This is going to be something. But the more you think about it, like, it does take guts to do that, knowing that Twitter is the biggest cesspool of the social media platforms. And if it is true that what we've heard is that Facebook is the only social media platform he ever looks at, maybe looking at Twitter will kind of give you a full scope of the fan base and kind of show you what people are thinking. Although I don't think that the fan base is as negative as it is on Twitter. Nothing is as negative as it is on Twitter. I thought the video was really well done. I love that he took a couple hard questions. I see a lot of people saying today, because it seems like it was universally praised, the video was. But then I've seen a lot of people say today, he didn't actually answer those hard questions. They were just one-liners. It's like, come on, what did you expect him to say? The fact that he is addressing them at all is impressive to me. I mean, he answered a question about whether or not UK was being used as leverage in NIL negotiations. Like just reading that sentence aloud means you're addressing, the criticism. So I thought it was great. Of course, there was a softball in there, as there should have been, bring some levity to it. I'm a little sad he's not going to go to that wedding. I mean, I feel bad for the guy who invited him. I thought that was.
I'll go. I'll officiate. I'm not.
There you go.
I got my. I almost said diploma. That's not what it is.
I got one of those too. Yeah, but I don't know if I actually still have that. But we were ordained online at some point. I just thought it was wholly unnecessary, and I'm not trying to poo-poo it, but it just I don't know. It felt. Like, I don't know. I know a lot of people wanted to hear from him, and it did them some good. It did nothing for me, and I thought it was just very awkward and forced. Like nothing about like when Will Stein does his thing, and he's like holding the video and talking to it like a normal person talks to it. This was like I thought it was AI at first.
The projection level.
So many people thought that.
Yeah.
Because it was such a weird like frame, like the lens of it, and his posture is so great, and he's so like, I don't know. It was kind of weird to me. But hey, it's not for me, right? Like, I don't care what he has to say about these guys. I care more about like a press conference setting, him not having like you're getting a question and you have to like think on your feet. Like, I mean, those were prepared statements. Like, it's what it was. It's fine. Like, if that helps some people, cool. It does nothing for me. I'll chew on whatever he says at a press conference, but I don't really – this is a nothing burger for my eyes. Not trying to poo-poo it. If you liked it, fine. Me, whatever. I'm more so just mad. He did the damn – everything in the transfer portal happens at dinner time. It's like, can I get this 1 hour – there's 1 hour of the day where like everything's crazy. Can we just not have anything happen here? He did it at 6 p.m. That was I'm not as big of a fan of the video as some other folks were, but hey, that's all for you guys. Y'all enjoy.
Well, I don't think it's a whole lot to it, but just doing something like I didn't think he had to go that far. Like, I know it's a bad example, but like when the plane was taken off and the pilots found whatever when he first started the transfer portal, his picture from the skies, that backfired. But little things like that, just giving the fans something to nibble on instead of going completely quiet, I think can go a long way. It's not a huge deal. It doesn't solve any problems or doesn't put any wins on the schedule. But this time of year, just giving them something, I feel like is helpful. And like even today with put out the picture of Bogans. Not a huge deal, but that's what I think Will Stein has been doing such a good job of. Just little things from the office daily, very small things, but they add up to keeping fans engaged and keeping that going during an otherwise quiet period. So I like
reminding people you're there. I think that's big, and I think he did a good job of. He took some hard questions, he took some silly questions, but he also took some questions that could let him kind of hype his team up a little. Like he talked about Zoom, he talked about Alex Wilkins, he kind of addressed the Malachi Marino NBA draft process and how that's going. So I think the way he kind of combined all those things was really good. And it was very high production, somewhat AI looking, but we're going to take what we can get right now.
That part is true. And it also will, the more it merit, like if this happens more frequently, then I think it become like this one-off becomes less of a, I don't want to say a cry for help, but like a sort of, okay, things haven't been great. Let me throw you guys a bone. Because I mean, admittedly, he didn't take questions on his call-in show. Did he do them? I don't think he did them all year.
No, they started doing that. Bring on a former player. I love our former players. Great to hear from those guys. I couldn't eye roll bigger when the coaches show brings those guys on. That's just
how hard is it to fill an hour of time talking ball? Like it's not that hard. Like I know we do it for a living, but like seriously, you can't. I bet most of the people watching here could talk Kentucky basketball for an hour with Tom Leach. Like it's not that hard.
With fans calling in.
Yeah,
mostly Bob in Jamestown.
Right, always Bob in Jamestown.
Well, overall, I think it was good. I mean, we can nitpick it all day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was positive to at least put something out there. It doesn't solve problems, but at least gave fans a little nugget there on the internet yesterday. Tyler, did you have? We've already mentioned some of his comments. Did any of them stand out more than others to you? Anything in particular? Steven even told us he can play a couple. I don't know what he has dialed up, but Steven, if we're talking about one, just hit play and interrupt us if you have to.
Is Kentucky being used by players to leverage for more NIL? Yes. We're the biggest brand in basketball.
That's every school in the country. Yes, every school. Agents use other schools to leverage other schools. Like that's why do you think CJ Baxter visited Indiana? Like so his agent could try to leverage it to get more money. Like that's how the water is wet.
I thought the next one was more interesting. It was the question. I don't know if you just want to keep playing it, Stephen, about the 14 top 20.
Next question from @highschooltoprecruiting. What changes are being made to recruiting? You have to see a problem with 14 top 20 kids visiting and landing none. What's the change? Well, the first change, I'd like to get all 20 kids to visit our campus. That's a major win and there's no limits. Second, I'd like to land a few. Third, this year we were chasing a generational talent and we fell a little short, but we weren't sitting on our hands. We put together a roster that we are going to love watching crush it in Rupp Arena.
I like that he even just referenced Tyron Stokes. He didn't mention him by name, but he did bring him up. I think that is something to at least mention the name of the guy that you missed on, that you spent so much time pursuing. And, you know, some fans maybe thought you spent a little too much time. So I thought that was brave to mention that.
Well, it showed maybe a bit of honesty, Drew. Like, hey, our plan was go all in on Stokes. I think the other question is, why did you think that was a good plan? And why do you think he's a generational talent? Because I have had hot Tyron Stokes takes for a long time. I'm not the only one. I mean, he's a great passer for a guy his size, but like, he's not a typical number one player in a class. And so I'm just wondering, and he's never going to answer that. Right. We're not going to get truth serum for him, but that's more of the issue is that, like you did go all in on that guy when it probably wasn't worth it, and you probably just weren't going to get him. Like you didn't see the writing on the wall to pivot, and that I think is more of the concern rather than just missing out on a guy to Kansas.
I do worry about their reading of the room sometimes, and there were the last few months of Stokes. It was the buzz was mostly Kansas's direction. Now, Pope knows more than any of us on the internet, just taking what we get. He's having the actual conversations. Maybe there was something he saw that thought he had an open window that they could still, at the very end, push through and get him. But the narrative around Stokes was pretty heavy on Kansas for a while. So if it seemed that way internally, as much as I would have liked to have Stokes, you also have to realize your position and bow out and not go to the very end. So that was one little concern with that. But like we were saying earlier, if you can get Momcilovic, I think that's a better get. I worry about them knowing their place in some of these recruitments as they're happening. What were some of the other questions? You got any more you want to play, Stephen? We had he talked a little bit about Malachi, who we can also is not one of our
question from @FeltnerKev32715. Another concern I have is we are not addressing the 5 spot. Also, Moreno is on the precipice of the first round. Malachi Moreno was the #1 priority for us going into this portal season. We think that he's going to be the best center in all of college basketball next year here at Kentucky. He's also going through the draft process. He had a great workout just last night for an NBA team. Next week, he's heading to the Combine, and we're supporting him every step of the way. This is the place where basketball dreams come true, and Malachi has 2 dreams. He's dreaming of hanging a banner at Kentucky, and he's dreaming of playing in the NBA. And so we're supporting him chasing both of those. At the same time, we're working hard in the portal right now to shore up this 5 spot. We're going to have an unbelievable crew at the center position. Next question from Zach.
I mean, I think his answer is correct in the beginning. Why is everybody so worried about the center spot? That was the first thing they did right, was make sure that Malachi Moreno didn't leave. Did you want Brandon Garrison playing more last year? Like, that's what they're asking, who's going to be Brandon Garrison for this team next year?
We got a big Brandon Garrison debate happening in the comments. I don't know if you all are watching.
Yeah, I've been watching that too.
I mean, it's just wild.
Brandon Garrison's living on in people's hearts and in their minds. I didn't see that today.
Looking at the comments, I feel like the three of us are interrupting a Brandon Garrison debate going on with our talk of everyone else. A lot of big BG fans. Someone in there, I think, said we could beat Iowa State if we had just pounded it into Garrison. I don't know about that, but we can all dream. We have our dreams. One thing,
interesting.
I got to be careful not to sound negative here because, everybody thinks we're trying to burn down Kentucky basketball. But when he says we have outstanding centers, it makes me wonder, do you know of something that you're going to add with Malachi? Or are you just telling us that without having anything there? Because that's what I do. One problem I do have with Pope is everything is just always perfect in roses. And like right now, Malachi is the only center. When he says we have an outstanding group, it's like, well, are you saying that because there's something we don't know yet? Or are you just pumping sunshine and hoping it works out?
He's a really big Reese Potter fan. He's,
that's true.
Really confident that Reese Potter will step up this year.
Well,
but no,
apologies to the Potters.
I think it's just trying to hype up the team as best he can. But getting to Malachi, I feel like panic levels kind of skyrocketed. Was it yesterday or the day before when he showed up 31 on that mock draft? So part of that was Jonathan Wasserman of Bleacher Report did that mock draft. And in it, he said that since so many stars have gone back to college to get another year of NIL, it's kind of opening some room at the end of the first round. So there's a little bit of buzz that Malachi, if he does well at the combine next week, could move up into that first round. And then I know he's got a lucrative offer from UK to come back, which he has already signed if he pulls out of the draft. But if you're guaranteed to be a first-round pick, what do you do if you're Malachi? And then there was another tweet today by Wasserman who said, Malachi Marino is a big name to monitor pre-draft. I assumed he would return, but he's going to test the process, see how much interest he can build as a 19-year-old 7-footer. He's already getting in workouts ahead of the withdrawal deadline. So I still think Malachi comes back. I really want him to come back, but I do think that may be something to really keep an eye on next week because his agent shared footage of him working out yesterday. We've got the Wasserman stuff. It could be nothing, but I'm a little worried.
You know what they don't have in the NBA?
I will never worry about something that somebody at Bleacher Report is saying. Like they advertise their app, and then like what does Bleacher Report do? They do nothing. They're like aggregators. Oh, this guy thinks that Malachi might do good. Great. You know what else he knows? That if Kentucky fans will click on his stuff if he say Malachi Moreno is going to the NBA. Not worried about it for a second. Steven brings up in the chat that people are worried if they lose Malachi and don't have a backup, the season is over. There's a great quote by the great Tom Moore when asked about why they don't give more reps to the second string quarterback. And he said, you see that number 18 out there, Peyton Manning? Well, if we don't have Peyton Manning, we're effed. So we're not going to practice being effed. If Malachi Moreno isn't here, then the season's over. Yes, like it doesn't matter. There is nobody out there, 0 people out there that could be half of Malachi Moreno. All you are doing is wasting money on a backup center. And if Malachi Moreno isn't there, the year's over. I'm not even going to spend time wasting on it because if Moreno does go to the draft, well, then the goose is cooked. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So, I'm wasting 0 sleep over Malachi Moreno's draft decision. This kid grew up right down the road. He can make a bunch of money by playing for UK. If the NBA is still out there, it would be the wildest indictment on Mark Pope if he left. Like, that's what it would say more to me about his faith in Mark Pope than anything else, and it would tell me all I need to know about Mark Pope. So that's why I'm not sweating it for a second. If Malachi Moreno decides to go to the NBA draft, he is essentially handing Mark Pope a pink slip.
I don't think he's going. And the reason is they don't have his mom's lasagna in New York with the Knicks or in Oklahoma City with the Thunder. It's home. You got family. He's got a girlfriend at UK. This is his life right now. The NBA will be there. That same amount of money will be there next year. As Nick, as you were saying earlier about Momcilovic, if you're a fringe second round into first round guy, just go cash in and make more money in a sure thing in college. And like with Wasserman's comments about how he's saying the door's opening for Marino because a lot of these people are going back to school. Well, why wouldn't Marino just be with them and go back to school too? Because that is the better thing to do right now.
Yeah, and especially if you look at the rookie pay scale, he's probably making more money than first rounders. I believe it was like $2 million at the bottom of the first round. So why would you do that? And then secondly, every year, like I remember watching Malachi Moreno as a junior at Great Crossing, and I was like, like this kid's good, but he spends a little bit too much time around the 3-point line, and then goes to his senior year and he's just awesome. Like he had figured out so much of his game, and by the time he was coming to Kentucky, I'm like, you know what? He might not be good at year one, but like he's got a lot there. And then he took another huge step forward. Dude, if he does this again in a third straight offseason, then he's going to be making that lottery money. So like
in a weaker draft. Next year's draft is going to be a lot weaker. And if you watch that footage of him, he was hitting threes. It's like looking like Michael Marino out there. So he's got a lot to add to his game for sure.
Exactly. So like I just, it makes too much sense. Now it's smart for him to do all the workouts and go through the process, because like what else are you doing in the month of May? Nothing. Like this is probably really exciting. I mean, it was the Celtics was his workout, right?
Knicks.
I mean, they're in the playoffs right now, and you're wearing a Knicks, practice jersey. Right? Like, that's cool. So go do you, Malachi. Have some fun. We'll see you maybe in a summer trip. Maybe not. I don't know. I guess that's happening. We don't know.
Technically, don't they come back to campus at the end of May anyways, or 1st of June?
Usually first week of June, usually.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that long. Like in a month, we could be talking about first practice reports and all of that, which is kind of insane.
This is the 1 month where nobody is on campus. So
we do this. I got to call out Big Blue Nation, and I'm including myself. I'm calling us out as a fan base for one thing we keep doing. It's not the first time with Malachi. We've done it probably every player. They say they're testing the waters, and we're like, all right, you should do that. Go live your life. Get your feedback. And the moment they go to one workout, we're like, no, why are you doing that? It's like we talk out of both sides of our mouth with these NBA workouts. Like, yeah, we're so proud of you. Go do these workouts, get your feedback, come back. But the moment there's one clip of them in a practice uniform hitting a three in an NBA workout, we immediately freak out and forget that we were supportive of them testing the waters in the first place. This is just how it works. Like, there's going to be clips of him, what was it, 8 threes today? I mean, when these guys go to workouts, someone puts out a clip of them playing well because that is their agent's job. So all these guys are going to look good. And we did it with Elway. I mean, we just absolutely freak out thinking, oh, no, you're not supposed to actually leave us. And I feel like that's happening with Malachi. Maybe enough people will get out of the way, and someone like the Knicks, they are a team, someone would do it. They have a lot of first-round picks and need a center. Maybe someone does that, but I would be pretty surprised if he's not in a Kentucky uniform at this point. I'm kind of watching it as Malachi, go have your fun, make these connections for when you do make the jump, but I just doesn't feel like this will be the summer he does it. But I could also be wrong. I'm wrong very often, but I'm not worried right now. I just think it's funny how we support him and pat him on the back, then immediately freak out when there's like positive feedback.
Tale as old as time. Well, Jack Ryan 2878 has a question that he has been trying to ask. Just spit it out, Jack Ryan 2878. For Drew, for Nick, or for Tyler. We are all here for you. We are all here to hear the question.
Yeah, we can't can you just type it? I mean, we can't bring you onto one of these boxes. I keep saying you have a question.
Although we need to do that at some point. We had talked about maybe for KS board members, bringing them on for a segment this summer and letting them talk. But
like right now, I could give you Roush's phone number and you could call him. Oh,
here we go.
Maybe Coach P can get you another point guard and put that point guard on the bench if somebody injured like Mason Williams. So he gets injured, that point guard can come off the bench.
Yeah, they have too many point guards. They have 2 ball handlers, and then they have Mason Williams. So, yeah, they're good with point guards.
They needed too many point guards after the first 2 years of Pope. Pope cannot have enough point guards this next season.
We got the kid from George Rogers Clark, too.
Yeah.
Jerome Morton. Another good ball handler.
Send it in, Jerome.
Oh, we gotta start using that.
Yeah.
Put that on a t-shirt.
That's one of my favorite clips ever. It's that one, and then there was another one. Dave Chappelle was telling a story about the Charlie Murphy skit, and every time I hear, "Well, the 5 fingers say the face," I just can't.
Don't get me started on the Chappelle Show. I think I can
Oh,
recite
man.
all of it.
So it's aged like fine wine 23
Yeah.
years later, which
Oh,
that
Clayton
would make you
Bigsby.
feel old. Keith Bogan's having a son at Kentucky. I was like, oh no. God.
Graduating from Kentucky.
No, that can't be. Keith Bogan's wasn't like everybody in my generation. Like he was our like that those teams were our first like guys, right? I was a little bit young for the 90s teams. Like I remembered them, but Tayshaun, like we would fight over number 21 because everybody wanted to be cool like Tayshaun. But Bogans was just a dog, an absolute dog. And I cannot wait to start my annual rant this summer about how his jersey needs to be up in the rafters because
you're not wrong, man.
He's 5th in scoring at UK. 5th. Like what? What are we doing? Get his jersey up there. And the best part about Keith Bogans too, we have that subscription to USA Today Imagine Images. When you Google his name, people forget he played for like 15 years in the NBA. Some of the guys he guard, like he's like guarding Kobe and like LeBron and all of these. I mean, he played forever and was like a solid 6-man shooting guard on a bunch of different teams and played until, I don't know. It was kind of like Nazi. You looked up and you're like, how is Nazi Muhammad still playing in the National Basketball Association? Keith Bogans, he's the best. And also looking fit in retirement. Some guys, they get retired and, you can – I don't blame him, Drew. Like if I was playing basketball year round, I would, I'd eat some cupcakes. I'd eat some donuts in the morning. Keith Bogan's looking fit, looking spry in retirement.
Yeah, I've put on like 15 pounds in a month. I mean, I don't know how he does
Sympathy
it.
weight. Dad weight. Sympathy weight.
It's a lot of door dashing. There's a lot of Keith Bogan's kid didn't play for the team, but we're about to hit a cycle of some of these players we love. Their kids are getting college age too. I guess
Rondo.
Walla Cousins. We got a few more years. Yeah, Rondo's obviously 8th grade. He's a stud already. But I think there's a few that we're still probably 3, 4, 5 years away. But there'll be a round of former UK players' kids. I know of a few that are still pretty young, but we'll get there eventually. Hopefully, some of them can suit up.
It made sense when Jamal Mashburn Jr. was playing basketball 33 years after his dad played at UK. But if we get Adrian Peterson's kid just got an offer from Miami, and like that is like he's not a Cal player having a kid old enough to be recruited. That'll we'll be the old lady on the Titanic.
Wait until Brandon Garrison's son Akari is
there you go.
Let's see, that'll be if he's 3 now. What class will he be? I don't know. If we're all still doing KSR and when Akari Garrison is in recruiting rankings, then they might need to.
It'll be like the 2040 class. It's not that long, 2040 something. Yeah.
Where else we going?
Crazy.
I'll be here. Y'all leaving? I'm not going anywhere. I'll be here.
Just hanging out and drinking Country Boy.
Might as well. It's a pretty sweet life.
Yeah.
I switched to coffee. A little back and forth on the Country Boy coffee. Nick Roush, I got a question for you. Why is Golden Tempo scared? Is that a horse or a chicken?
He should have gone to church, but he's not going to the Preakness, unfortunately, which I feel like I could see it coming about a mile away because Sovereignty really set the precedent. Bill Mott set the precedent. Everybody respects Bill Mott. He's kind of like the wizened old. I don't even know how to compare him, but he's an old vet. Like he's a vet who grew up, and they're like, hey, if he can get away with doing this with Sovereignty, who didn't lose another race the rest of his 3-year-old career and still run him at 4, then we can do that with our Kentucky Derby winner. The part that I think is most fascinating about all of this, as my child screams for me in the other room, is that basically the Preakness is very much in danger of dying. Pimlico almost killed it because it was such a dump, and it took them forever to do something.
It's a burrito blanket.
Okay, good. That wasn't a blowout. Yeah.
Carry on.
You actually wrap them up like a burrito too. So that's a great combo.
Sorry to interrupt, Nick. You're cooking there.
But like Pimlico, they dragged their feet, and so now their reconstruction is happening way too late. So they're racing at Laurel Park this year. they're in their last year of their TV rights deal. So they're going in their last year of their TV rights deal with 2 straight years without having a Derby winner. And I want to say it's 5 out of the last 9 haven't had a Derby winner. It sucks because it makes people not want to pay attention to the Preakness. The old saying was, that's the one advantage that the Preakness had over every other Triple Crown race. They always had the Derby winner. Well, they don't now. And that'll change because Churchill Downs bought the rights to the Preakness Stakes for starting next year. They will force the race to be moved back to at least 3 weeks to ensure that their Derby winner is running in the Preakness. So this feels like the last straw before they move the race around and lengthen the schedule a little bit. But I did really like what one guy said on Twitter. He said, breed the horses to race, not race the horses to breed. And that's horse racing's biggest problem. Because there's a horse I know of that's going to be in the Preakness that skipped the Derby because they have a better shot at winning the Preakness. And they have a deal where this horse that they bought for, I want to say like $150,000, if it wins one Triple Crown race, they will sell the breeding rights for $15 million. So the math just makes sense to not race them, just to get them in the most ideal spot to win one of these. But it sucks for horse racing because it's kind of crazy how popular the Derby is. Like, I know,
I feel like it got like super cool this year. Like I think I saw they hired some influencers to kind of take over the social media, and obviously the NBC's done a lot with that broadcast. They brought in John Fanta, which I think was a great idea. Kind of for the first time in a while, we didn't have a Derby party this year, so I got to sit there and just watch the TV coverage, which I personally love. Like, I love the whole day lead up. Like, I had LEX 18 pulled up that morning. I was just watching them do their daily coverage, and then I switched over to NBC, and it was really fun. Like, it was neat to see how they're really trying to modernize this race for people watching at home and for people going. I saw where there was that clip that went around of the $15,000 experience and the all-inclusive Woodford suite, which was just kind of crazy. So it seems like whoever is in charge of the Derby and the marketing is really trying to make it a bucket list thing to young people. Which I think it's smart. I mean, you've got to, right? I think the only difference between that and maybe other bucket list items like the Masters or something is it's an expensive ticket, but once you get in, the Masters is pretty cheap, right? Concessions are pretty cheap. Derby ain't so cheap from what I hear. You gotta shell out a lot of money once you're inside that building or in the infield. I know you do it on the cheap because you're the expert, but to have some kind of these experiences that these kids are seeing on TikTok and stuff like that, it's a lot of money.
Instagram has just really helped in general, right? Like, everybody wants to. People like getting dressed up and getting fancy. And like, my sister lives in Birmingham and they have a big Derby party. It was 3 hours before the race, or no, maybe 2 hours before the race, and their party hadn't started yet. I'm like, what are you all doing? But they really like it. I mean, for them, the 2-minute race is just like a part of it. So like it's very easy to get people all hyped up for it. And it's great for the singular race. Horse racing, though, still has plenty of its problems. They're not going to be able to, like, how they keep like, how do we get these people to play regularly? And it's like, well, you're just not, like the best way you do it, in my opinion, is you just have the Triple Crown the first Saturday of each month. So first Saturday in May, first Saturday in June, first Saturday in July. So then people have it in their like count. They're like, right, okay, this is when I tune in. Yeah.
I like that idea. I like the idea of having it around July 4th, the Belmont, because that can be just a huge event. We got to get to Jack Ryan 2878's question because he's been pumping it in the chat. He says, if Golden Temple did not win that horse race, who did you guys want to win? Nick, who were you rooting for?
The horse that I really wanted to scratch 2 days before. That sucked. No full effort. But Further Ado was the one that I kind of bet over the top, and I thought he was in the right spot. And Oselli, I'll blame it on Oselli, but Further Ado didn't have enough steam in there. I was trying to beat Renegade, but hey, credit to Renegade, man. That horse got killed coming out of the gate by like 4 horses. I think proved that he's the best 3-year-old, but got smashed, still survived, had the race won, but Golden Tempo really got rolling late on. So I'm very much on a Derby cold streak. And you all saw some of my losses on Friday. I lost even more on Saturday. I was every time I tried to bet against a favorite, the favorite would win. Every time that I would bet on the favorite, it would lose. Like it was tough sledding. It was tough sledding for your boy Roush. Peak now is interested enough where he's like, maybe I'll just do the Derby day with Roush.
I don't know. I love, if you all haven't watched the Oaks video that Nick and Steven did, you really should go back and watch it. It was quality
–
content. There's a part where you chest bump a child and practically knock him down.
Oh, yeah.
We had to go laugh at that.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
The funniest part about that, so it actually is my high school basketball coach's son. You know, they were kind of a little bit – He was gifted some money to go bet by his uncle, and then he won a lot of money. So he came there to give him a 20 to pay him back. He's like, I don't want your money. Like, get out. Like, it's you. You want it. You keep it. It was kind of like a sly little move. And then I'm like, well, you know the winner. So who you got in the next race? And that's when he gave me the winner. One of my few winners from that day. It was tough sledding, but it was a beautiful day. Like, it rained for about 2 minutes on Derby Day. Least amount of rain I can ever remember on a Derby weekend. And, it sucks when it's over.
No, and we're getting at least a look at it here.
Yeah, here we go. Here's the chest bump coming up.
I love it.
I did nearly take him out.
That poor child.
Oh, did he go all the way down or did he catch his balance?
He caught his balance just barely. Just enough.
Yeah,
That's a good looking jacket. You should wear that more often. Maybe first Will Stein football game, break that out.
Yeah,
that is that feels like it's almost like a racetrack exclusive because how often do you when does it call for a pink blazer? Easter? I mean,
whenever you want to, I think is the answer there. This guy's impressive. I mean, just
the next day he had his beard dyed a different color. So that means he went home and washed it all out and then rebraided it and re-dyed it.
That's dedication.
Yeah, crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Are you all sweating the this new virus going around? It was a hot topic on our morning show with this cruise ship. Let's not do 2020 again. Let's never do that again.
Well, it's a hot topic in our group chat to the point like Steven keeps sending these links to Twitter, like to tweets about the Hantavirus, and I'm scared to click on them because my For You feed will just all be It already is all Hantavirus stuff. So. Oh
yeah, I clicked on Star Wars on May the 4th, and it's a lot of Star Wars on For You this week.
Yeah,
I've been the people who give off the facade of being in the know say that it kills too quickly to be like an outbreak, which sounds awful, but is technically a good thing. So too deadly to be bad, which my brain is like, that doesn't seem right. Like, what do you mean it kills people too quickly? I don't.
Because people can't get to the point where they can spread it to other people because they die so fast.
Yeah.
What I was reading said you're either dead or in a hospital bed, so you have no chance to get on a flight or go to a concert. Or it's like, oh, that's comforting.
Right. The thing about this story that's the craziest to me is, don't listen, Avery Rose. You're sweet and innocent and we'll never have to deal with this. The Dutch couple that originally got it, they were on this luxury cruise ship and they went on a bird watching tour. And that bird watching tour went to a landfill where it's just mice everywhere. So they got it from the rodents at this landfill. I'm like, why would you go to a landfill to go bird watching? I know that birds are there picking at the trash, but somewhere between the luxury cruise and the landfill, you really got to love birds. So I think I put this video on our spreadsheet or our Google Doc if we want to share it, because it's disgusting. Like, it's just birds flying all over trash and rats and ugh.
I thought if you had money for a luxury cruise, you could bird watch at places that weren't landfills. I thought you had enough money to go to an actual place to watch birds.
It must be a really special bird eating these rats. Like, oh gosh.
I mean, isn't the whole point of bird watching is that you're doing it in a scenic environment?
Like the Arboretum. I thought we'd go to the Arboretum.
Here's the landfill.
What? I mean,
why?
Hey, honey, you know that luxury cruise we're going on? Why don't we stop by the landfill first and take pictures of birds eating human trash?
One, don't go to landfills. Two, don't go on cruises. That's what I'm taking from this. I've never been a cruise person, never done one. I don't think I like it anyway. After all of this, no thanks. Oh, and here we go.
Yeah, here we go. This is what got me. This was tweeted in 2022. How does this happen, Nick? I know you're an expert on soothsaying and Twitter. Explain to me how this happened.
One, I will give them credit. Soothsayer, great phrase. We don't use it enough. Shout out to Caesar, the Ides of March. I have been, I don't know if it's blue-pilled, red-pilled, or whatever, but basically people will make accounts, make lots of predictions to try to go viral at some point and then delete them whenever they like other things to make it look like they were correct. So I think that some person just kind of stumbled into dumb luck with that. Like they made a lot of predictions and then they deleted the ones that didn't come true just in time for the Hantavirus to pop up and it's like, oh, we got one. Like I can win a horse bet every once in a while. The soothsayer can tweet out a correct soothsay every once in a while.
That's pretty specific calling out the Hantavirus, though. It wasn't like, hey, the Spurs are going to win the finals. It's a very specific prediction 4 years ago.
What'd you say, Steven?
No, yeah, I mean, yeah, very specific. The exact year, the exact virus. That'd be a lot of predictions. I mean, I guess it's possible. Did he have one for 24, 25, 26, and then just had a different virus for each one of those years?
Can we just ask him what's going to happen with Kentucky basketball? Can Soothsayer just tell us that?
He's only
because he's retired right now because he made $1 billion on Polymarket betting on this.
Call sheet. Yeah. I like Holly S2292. Simpsons predict everything. She's right. Yeah, did the Simpsons predict hantavirus?
I hope not.
I bet they did. There's a Simpsons clip for everything.
I really enjoyed the person who's been infected with the Fantavirus.
I've been infected by the Fantavirus. I love me some John Fanta. He seemed to have a great time at the Derby.
Did you disappointed. Get to meet him? I know. I was disappointed I didn't run into him, and that was admittedly doing the 13-mile run the Saturday before and then walking to and from the track multiple times. I did not do a lot of moving around on Saturday. I stayed put for the most part. The legs, they needed a break. We had to give the puppies a break.
It was the legs, not the liver or anything else.
Not the liver.
That didn't prevent you from doing anything.
Yeah, Avery, it was his legs, not nothing else. Jack had another question for us here. Let's get to more. Oh, looky there. Simpsons already dropped a mention. Season 11. That feels like a long time ago, too.
Yeah.
Jack wants to know who our playoff picks are. Jack, we appreciate all the questions today.
I will go with the Knicks just because the little playoff basketball I've watched has been Knicks games because I turn them on and it's just for some reason it's always on. Saw Karl Towns. He's playing really well. He got the basketball unstuck from the top of the backboard last night. I thought that was a cool move. That clip was going around. And he credited his UK education on why it helped him get it out. He mentioned his geometry teacher or something at UK. I was like, what?
And he told Tyrese Maxey that he went to UK longer than him, I guess. Is that a COVID joke? Was it Maxey on the COVID team?
Wow. That's what a dig. That's tough.
Yeah, that's some good NBA trash talk there. We do have a lot of cats. A lot of cats still surviving, especially tomorrow night. The Knicks, Sixers, and then Wolves, Spurs. But of course, Shea with the Thunder. We're pretty, for people that follow the former Cats, I don't know, that's not for everybody. The NBA playoffs are full of them.
It would just be nice if I would turn it on and the game would be close. I feel like I have the worst luck with the random, let's turn it on, I hope this is a good game, and then it's the third quarter and it's a 30-point game. Knicks Sixers was one exception. That was pretty close, but it was Survivor night, Drew. Like I
almost put that on our topic list. I know Tyler doesn't watch it, and most people don't. Incredible season so far.
Let's do spoilies for Survivor people.
Avery, cover your ears.
Cover your ears. The twists have been a little extra, Drew, but they've actually kind of landed. I'm ready for it to go back to just normal, though. Like we have good people out there. Like let's not we don't have to get too crazy. Just let them cook, right? And they've been cooking. It's been a very fun season. But I don't need Mr. Beast or anybody else showing up again. Like let's play 3 more episodes of Survivor.
Too many mashups. You're Survivor. You don't need to bring in Jimmy Fallon. When they did that Jimmy Fallon twist, I hated it from the beginning. And then my favorite Survivor character of all time goes home because of it. So they need to calm down with that stuff. But otherwise, it's still been a good season. This one watched her first episode. She was a day old, and she watched an episode of me in the hospital. So
nice.
Young Survivor fan here.
When's the finale?
We still got a few weeks.
So
they should do like a special happy hour for it. Like
okay. So they're down to 7. So that means 2 more and then the finale. That sounds right.
That could work out perfectly because I'm going on vacation 2 weeks from tomorrow.
Well,
so you all can have
Jacob
a Survivor happy hour.
Yeah, Jacob's a big Survivor fan. So, great show. Great show.
Maybe we'll tag Richmond in.
Oh, yeah, Richmond would be great. Get your friend who actually won Survivor to come on.
Yeah, I tried to run into him at the Derby, but he was with a big group. They might have had to, it takes a little bit longer when you got Derby noobs to kind of, get them all to herd the pack. And neither of us were as lucky as our college roommate who walked out of Churchill with like 30 grand on Friday. I was like, dude, will you just, and then of course the ticket that I get on with is a loser. I'm like, I think you're lying to me, buddy. Like you say you have all these winners, but the one time I bet with you, you're not winning. Like, I don't know what's going on here.
One of my friends is in big trouble. He's in our group chat. There's 6 of us. It's nonstop. I mean, it's not uncommon to pick up my phone and there's 30 texts and it's all these same 6 people. So we're tight.
Yep.
He won like 5,000 at Keeneland, 5,000 the next weekend at Keeneland, and 10,000 on the Derby. And we're like, look, bud, we're done talking to you. You could have easily put your picks out there, maybe an invite, but we see him walking out with the bands, or we see the Derby case. Yeah, that's when we find out. So I got a buddy that's just cashing in, but he's in a little bit of trouble for not telling us beforehand. It doesn't help me when you've already got the money in your pocket. Tell me when I need to make the bet.
Exactly. And here's the other part too. Sports betting is different than horse betting in that regard, where it's like people will, instead of sports betting, you like make the same bet. In horse betting, you just jump in the bet. They've got like the bet share feature. So it just goes right into the account if you win. It's so easy. Just let me know and I will happily get in there.
I'll party.
Yeah. Come on.
Oh, Steven's got a question for us.
Oh,
or maybe it was for the chat.
Oh, no.
NCAA tournament expansion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
it's official. They expanded the field.
And we had you sent me the bracket, right?
Yeah, I did. It's weird looking.
Actually, I like it.
Well, no, don't peek. You're falling for it. This is big NCAA. They're doing this to try to like ease you into it, because if they made it a true bracket, it would make more sense, but people would hate it. Instead, they're putting the teams at the top up there to be like, see, it's not that much different. Like, yeah, no.
There's more chances for teams like Murray State to get in. Teams that win their conference, but then they lose in the conference tournament on like some last-second shot, and it takes away a perfect season. That happened to Murray State in 2015. They should have been in the tournament, and this expansion would give them that bid. And it's huge, and it gives you a winnable game. If you get like a 15 versus a 15, for those small schools who have been kind of priced out of making it very far in the tournament, this gives them an NCAA tournament win, and that's extra money that they could use. I mean, I think it's actually good. I don't think you're going to have a bunch of really bad SEC teams. I like that there's 2 15s now that get to play each other, and there's room there for some of the mid-majors to get in.
Steven, you're drinking the poison. Are you all right? Are you even Steven?
Yeah. Does he have the Hantavirus?
All of a sudden, he's going to start telling us about how great the Wilson Evo NXT is.
Having to win your conference tournament is special in itself. That's what's cool when you were good all year, and then the 6th seed knocks you out of the OVC tournament. Sorry, too bad you didn't win your tournament.
Here's my question. So with the first 4, like you just turned in your bracket by Thursday when the first game started. You didn't have to worry about the first 4. Are we going to have to start turning in our brackets on Tuesday or Monday night? I mean, are we just going to just ignore those first games?
I think that's why they have the thing up top because they're basically telling you like, hey, it's still cool to wait till Thursday. And I think Luckett has the most correct take on it, which is like when it gets here and they're playing what's it going to be? Is it 12 games a day? Or when it
12 games over 2 days. 24 teams, 12 games.
Yeah.
So you're going to have 6 games and then 6 games. Like when that happens, you're going to be like, okay, this is kind of awesome.
We'll get used to it, and it'll be fine. But you can no longer really brag about making the NCAA tournament.
Oh, yeah. The bar has been lowered.
Yeah.
Way too low.
I mean, I guess that's a good thing if your team isn't going to be doing that well this year. It's like, oh, well, we made the NCAA tournament. That's just not that big of a feat anymore. I don't know. But again,
it's going to save some jobs. It'll save a couple coaches' jobs a year because they made the field when otherwise they wouldn't have been in. I just think, I know Stephen, the Murray State case exists, but I'm just prepared to watch Stephen Pearl versus NC State next year on a Tuesday. And as someone who likes to gamble, I don't mind having a few warm-up games before the big tournament, but I just feel like we're going to see more bottom half of conference teams that don't deserve to be there.
Look, these teams aren't going to win it anyways. It's a 1 seed's going to win, or Connecticut, and all these other teams, it's just for fun. So more basketball. I don't want this to expand any more than this. I don't want. I don't.
It probably will.
Be a 7th round. I don't want that. But this, if they want to keep it like this, I can get behind it. And I agree with what Nick said or what Adam Luckett said. It's more basketball in March Madness. I'll be happy when it's here.
Rosie Boo 65 is mad about it. She is all going off in the chat. Let me scroll up. She hates it. That lead is nonsense in its own tournament. Holly says you've been body snatched, Stephen. Yeah.
Stephen, this is just more teams that will be victims of the basketball you hate. The Wilson, Evo. This is just giving a bigger platform to that stupid orange ball. That's all this is doing.
Oh, man.
I have a question for there are a few on the board that were added. They're mostly about Momcilovic, asking if it's worth him. We addressed that earlier in the show. Yes. Throw a bag at him. He immediately makes you probably top 10, and you could start dreaming dreams and understanding the assignment again if you had him. He's a huge difference maker. So we had 2 or 3 of those.
Use that Scrooge McDuck money,
Yeah.
Smoke him if you got him.
Now for my question. I have now being on leave and having this one here, I've watched every show that you can possibly watch. I'm even done with all 39 seasons of Bob Ross. It's time to switch to movies. I don't watch movies. I've seen like 5 movies in the last 2 years. I have time for a 45-minute show. Movies I don't usually have time for, but I'm out of shows. Now I watched Devil Wears Prada, the first one, on Sunday. Wasn't my pick, but I enjoyed it. I watched the Kentucky Hallmark movie. Terrible. But I'm in my movie era. Someone can I get some movies?
Yes. One of them, I'm sure, Drew, that you are a fan of like a Naked Gun type movie, like a Blazing Saddles.
I owned all the Naked Gun VHSs back in the day. A huge fan.
All right. Fackham Hall is on HBO, and it's like that kind of movie, but in like a Downton Abbey type setting.
Yeah, I've seen it on there. I haven't watched it, but I know what you're talking about. It's got my guy Damian Lewis from Homeland in there.
I didn't realize what I was watching when we turned it on, and it's so many out loud laughs. I mean, one of the funniest things I've seen in a very long time. They have kind of like a who's on first bit, which, I mean, it sounds like you're like, okay, I mean, come on, really? That's going to be funny? Oh, no. Like it's well written, great punchlines, very funny. I would recommend that one quite a bit if you're looking for a laugh. And then there was a Helen Mirren like Thursday Murder Club that was on Netflix as well. That was good. Like it's senior citizens, Pierce Brosnan. They're trying to solve a murder. Like
I've seen that one on there too.
Yeah, like it's not like the best murder mystery movie ever, but like it's charming. Like Helen Mirren, Pierce Brosnan, Ben Kingsley. Like okay, I'll go for this. So there are at least 2 sort of. You don't have to dedicate 3 hours to watch them. You can kind of start it at 8:30, 9 o'clock, and still get to bed at a reasonable hour.
Have you watched Peaky Blinders?
The movie? No, I haven't. I didn't finish the last couple seasons.
I was gonna say we watched the Peaky Blinders movie the other night. It's pretty good, but if you've seen Peaky Blinders, it's pretty much the same thing. It's good though. It's good though if you really like that type of stuff. But just you always got to have the captions on because I cannot understand what they're saying. I have to have the captions on. So that's really good. We watched the surprise episode of The Bear the other night. Really good. Really good. Yeah, if you're into The Bear, the prequel episode they dropped, excellent. As with all Bear episodes, there are moments that'll make you laugh, and then there are moments that will make you so uncomfortable. It's a very tense show to watch, which I totally get if people don't want that. Like if they just want to watch movies and TV shows that make them laugh and it's escapism and whatever. The Bear is like a very tense show, but that was a good episode of television that I would recommend.
I see in the comments RD Cart 324 recommending the Steve Zahn movie with his daughter. She dances.
Ooh.
I tried to go see that at the Kentucky Theater and I couldn't make it. Is that already somewhere where I can see it? If it is, go ahead and let me know. I'll still look for it on my own, but especially having this one around now. There she is. Say, oh, she's waving. Hello.
She's waving. Hey.
Avery says hello. Yeah, the dad-daughter angle has a little more to it for me. So I didn't know that was out streaming already. I want to make sure I see that one. So here we go. That was fun. That was helpful. Finished Rooster last night. We
got one episode left.
Yeah, that and DTF St. Louis. I watched those in the past week. The DTF St. Louis, it's got some good characters, some good laughs, but I will not put that on the KSR recommended watch list.
Okay. We were waiting for Rooster to come out before, that feels like a show you can roll through pretty quickly. So
yeah. We knocked him out in a couple nights, but
we'll
it's another fun happy hour here. Enjoyed talking to you all. Got through half of a beer and traded it for a child. I guess that's the responsible thing to do here.
She's
Avery,
so good.
Yeah, this is pretty much life. She just likes to sleep in her little burrito blanket.
Nice.
Sounds like a good life.
Yeah.
Now I want a burrito. Oh.
Yeah, probably going to get one. I've been eating Mexican about every night. That's part of that 15 pounds I've put on. Going to try to get up to 25.
Yep.
But you all enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Thanks for watching us here on the KSR Happy Hour. Good catching up with Roush. Haven't talked to him in a while. Tyler, always good chatting with you as well. We're the regulars on here, but glad to have Roush. We'll be back next week at 4 o'clock, our usual time slot. I don't know if this one will be with us, but maybe. We'll see. But thanks again for joining us. Thank you to Country Boy. I'll finish mine later tonight. And go Cats.